Gomutra, which is cow urine, and Gobar, cow dung, have had and do have the importance in the agriculture community in the southeastern Asia region and maybe all over the world. As Indians, they could be called to have an important, if not revered, place in a tradition and culture. Gomutra and Gobar, that's cow urine and cow dung, along with neem, desi ghee, and I think it's curd, are mixed together to and neem, yeah, are mixed together to make panchamrit. That's a concoction made out of 5 material, which is taken to be an elixir for the plants. It forms not only a good insecticide and pesticide, but also provides a lot of strength to the growing plant and helps in yielding a good harvest. So yes, they are an important part of our culture. Now there's something called Shikanji. It's basically a lemonade, and on a hot day with warm winds blowing in the afternoon, it too in a way is an elixir for life. And yes, it has been handed down to us throughout generations. The problem starts when people think about mixing the two, Gomutra and Gobar and Shikanji. That's, what do you call that? Cow urine, cow dung with lemonade. They are, all 3 of them are part of our culture and tradition. But trying to equate one as the other is going to be disastrous. This sadly is what seems to be happening. Bear with me. When the coronavirus scare started with COVID-19, initially there were a lot of places where people went and went on gathered and had sessions where they drank cow urine. Yes, amazing. But they did do it, claiming that it's a part of an ancient culture and it will get rid of the foreign disease. Sadly, most of them fell ill badly, drastically. This is what is hurting us. In the similar way, I mean, if you think of making a shikanji out of Gomutra with and mixing a little bit of gobar into it, a little bit of neem, and consuming it, it will not provide relief. It is going to be harmful. This at times seems to be happening. Everything has its importance, but then you can't call one the other. Gomutra cannot be used as a base of a shikanji, a lemonade. There are things in the past which have been brought out of context, and they are used to justify the rapt thinkings which many have in their mind. We've had this going on throughout, I mean, since throughout, yes, it has been harmful, but not to a great extent, and it did not harm the society as a whole. Like we've had Kanvariyas who went claiming themselves to be the followers of Shiva, and they went and on the religious journey of bringing water from the Ganges for prayer purpose. Yet most of the people who went onto it on the journey, many of them, not if most, did it so they could go have a reckless life, enjoy, consume materials like ganja and stuff like that. Then there's the case. There's been a case where a certain community had in the past been into practicing polygamy and having 4 wives. But while carrying a kamar or a pot or vessel containing water from the Ganges is on an arduous foot journey is something which is admirable, but to use it as an excuse, a simple excuse to use narcotic and banned substances or misbehave on the road is not justifiable. Polygamy is something which no one in his or its right mind would agree to, would call it nice. But you say, oh, it's part of a culture, so that is something we need to overcome. Just today, there was something shared on social media where the great warrior Prithviraj Chauhan was added to a sentence containing the name of, I guess, the first terrorist of independent India. The sentence went something like, today is the birth anniversary of Prithviraj Chauhan, and yes, the other name was of the person who many consider as the first terrorist of independent India, of Nathuram Godse, who killed Mahatma Gandhi. So equating both of them is like making a shikanji with cow urine as a base. It is disastrous. This mentality of people to try to justify by taking something good from the past and equating it to something which is drastically bad and shameless is a very bad thought process and is hurtful. People who indulge in it are dangerous. More dangerous than them are those who make claim to be horrified by this thought of equating the first terrorist of independence India with the great warrior Prithviraj Chauhan, but secretly believe into it. They are more dangerous than those who are openly claiming it. Yes, they and the hideous agendas, the hideous mentality is what harms the most. And the main reason they do all this sinister, they go about this in a sinister manner of hiding the thought, is because they are in position of power and prestige. And they think, and rightly so, that they need to maintain a two-face mentality so that they are not harmed. And it is these people in power, these people having the resources, who act in the sinister manner, these are the ones who are harming the nation more than the ones who are openly bragging or believing in this mob theory of equating the great warrior with the first terrorist of free India. Now, Yes, there are many people who I know who do sadly have the belief, which yes, they are not same as mine. They do believe that people who have been, who I think are the dividing elements and who are harming the country are good, and they are the reason for, or they are the messiah who can come and save the country. That isn't it. And yes, I am still socially connected to a few of them. One reason being, I mean, they are important to me apart from their thought process about the share. Second is, it helps me block a lot of people, a lot of pages on Facebook especially, and social media people. It helps me to block and report many who share these rat mentalities. So yes, they too are sharing, they too are they do have a purpose for me to reduce this rat mentality. So I use it as them. I can't remove them directly, so it does. But then these people with their claim of the hurt in the past and the messiah, the villains of the of humanity as potential messiahs are there. What hurts more is when you think you come across someone who you take to be a rational human being, and that person suddenly acts like a fanatic, to put it mildly, and like a cowardly troll thinks of unsettling you. It is these people who you respect and who you have looked up to, who you have thought as great human beings, act like people aiming to propagate hatred, is what makes you lose sleep and gets you stressed, that how can such a person in such a dangerous manner be spewing such venom. And the thing is, all these attacks, all these troll things are done usually in a private message. But then that's their way of thinking. Just hope that they get alright and they get over the tendency of mixing cow urine and lemonade to make a drink. What my personal opinion is, of my personal calculation, is that why the people are indulging into these thoughts, where because they seem to have lost out on life, on the plot of life. They seem to be not as such a good place financially, emotionally, and they think that finding someone or trying to pass the blame on someone who passing the blame on someone in order to play the victim for their shortcomings and lack of potential, this gives them an outlet. There are people whose families have had thriving businesses in the past. They were rich in all aspects. Because of competition, business have come down, and they are not, I mean, at times they are even finding it struggling to make ends meet. And this frustration of having a childhood and youth which is full of great potential and promise has turned into a frustrated middle age is something which makes these people look for an enemy in someone who's been together with them and apart together with them throughout the life. It's easy to blame the Muslims in today's India. I'm sure similar would have been the fate of the Jews in Germany. What I respect and I appreciate in the Muslim community in India is they are willing to put in the hard work, the effort, and this helps them to actually grow. And people who have egos or who are self-conscious and because of that are not willing to put in the work which involves the hand or settle for something productive, they see these people growing in life, moving ahead, and then they crib. They have a problem with them. How can such a person move ahead when I have moved in a place where I don't want to be? I have a person who used to work in my shop and used to wash dishes. He did it for many years and eventually he left the shop and started off as a painter's apprentice, and believe me, he's a huge big shot painting contractor right now in my hometown, and the fellow is earning at least 7 to 8 times more than me. And yes, I do feel good for him. Amazing, such a person who's an illiterate has turned into a big shot contractor and is doing well in life. But then believe me, you've got to be crazy or idiotic to appreciate someone who was working in and working as a dishman, moving so well. But I'm happy because whenever I meet him, he meets me with a lot of affection, and yes, it feels good that yeah, there's a young person who came into my life as a young child, has moved ahead with his hard work. And boy, it's amazing that how he's moved ahead. The affection which we have and the pride which I feel and is something which is beyond doubt. And the bonus is I had nothing to do with it. I've got students of mine who've done better than me in life, and they've even got better educational qualifications than me. I've got kids who are IAS, kids who have done the PhDs, where I've been desperately thinking about it since only class 9 to get a doctor in front of my name. But then it feels good. The kids I taught everything but the alphabet from class 6 to class 9 have done better educationally than me. It's their work. Doctors across the globe who I know, shout out to you, all of you. I just taught them English, but yeah, they have done and moved ahead. And believe me, I'm not very successful right now, but then who cares, man? I'm having fun, I'm enjoying life. Wish we all could be happy in a manner, in a way where we could appreciate what is for what itself. A student of mine who's leading the men in the army, both in India, and then there's another who's leading in the US. Our sense of pride to me cribbing, or they have become great leaders in the military, and I'm just and I don't know the master, a phrase which I really like for myself. It's not going to get them demoted or removed from the army. Neither it is going to get me moving ahead in life. So, but I do like enjoying the thing. So yes, before I conclude, a shout out to the gentleman. Yeah, I have to call you a gentleman. It is amazing. I have to call you that. Who gave me the idea of this video, and would like to end with just a thought. Making Shikanji out of Gomutra is not going to help anyone. Stay without it. We'll bore you later. Till then, so long.